Wow, it's so it's so good to be back. It's so good to be back. So when the Great Depression hit and I went up to like all those people at the counter, I was looking for some cheese to buy and they told me, "Hey, we sell butter over here." And I didn't really believe them because well, when I want to buy butter and I think of the flies, I just go and grab my sweater and I look at all the little buckets they have and all the little trophies and all the little statues, and I just start wagging at them. So eventually, when I bagged it all up, I went back to the store and I got some spaghetti for my dinner. But mom didn't want dinner, so I threw the spaghetti away. And unfortunately, when you throw the spaghetti away, it causes a kind of quasi chain reaction of unsolicited phenomena where everyone just goes up to the party and just yells buddy buddy blast beats in the echo chamber of reflections. And unfortunately, when that happens, it's just a complete show of non incompetence. Because when people are incompetent, they go up to the mayor and they start asking for advice. And unfortunately, the mayor, whom I personally know, the mayor Budhad Stuktakasvik, is very sweet and kind and gentle, but he is not great with advice. Because advice to him is a threat to the agency of the monsters under my bed. Because the monsters under my bed, they, well, seem to be related to United States senators. And when a senator of the United States goes up and asks me, buddy, do you have nanomachines? I'm very taken aback by that question. Because why would I have nanomachines in my house? I have them at my workshop. So I went back to my workshop and I told the senator, hey, senator, I have nanomachines right here. But the senator didn't need them, unfortunately. So I kept on making nanomachines, and eventually there was this big nanomachine robot of unconsciousness. And when I looked at that robot and I asked it, hey, robot, do you need nanomachines? The robot replied with, yes. So I kept making nanomachines over and over and over until the end of time itself. So time looped back into itself again and again and again, like some kind of infinite recursion of nanomachine transformability. And when it did, I kind of just got bored, kind of wanted to do something else that's not nanomachines. So I went back to my roots and got a pig farm in the middle of the desert. Unfortunately, pigs, they like mud, and the desert is kind of dry, so I needed to get a bunch of water from the ocean and make the desert moist again. But the desert, which is still kind of dry, it didn't like being moist, so it kind of just sucked all the water out of itself and threw it into space. I had a flying pig, which is pretty good, and the pig just wanted to go to space, so I let it, and I don't know when it's gonna come back. I hope it's still alive in space somewhere. If it's not, then I don't have my water to keep my other pigs dry. So, an inherent property of salt is that it makes things solid, in the metaphorical sense, that is. Because when something is solid, it, of course, has no inherent property of matter, and a matter object is a thing that just kind of exists in and of itself, And when I observe matter, I make it into non-matter in my brain, which is kind of interesting. My brain is a complete non-matter machine. It makes matter into non-matter, and I kind of wanted to make matter into matter, so I plugged a USB stick into my brain with a virus that said, "You have to make matter now." But my brain kind of died, so now I'm just stuck here making matter out of non-matter, and matter out of non-matter, and non-matter out of matter. It's an infinite loop of inevitability, which ails me to this day, because I am not able to make matter anymore. Where once I was able to, now matter is just skadoosh. Unfortunately, when I went to the swimming pool yesterday, I went into the water and it was kind of cold, so I sent a pipe bomb to the pool's house. The pool asked me, "Arma, why did you send a pipe bomb to my house?" And I said, "Because the water is cold. So make it hotter." Fine, sun from above descended into the heavens and started warming up the pool again, which is pretty okay. I took the pipe bomb out of the mailbox and I ate it for the iron contents it contained. Though I'm not a big fan of sulfur and gunpowder, so I kind of threw up after that. But the pool was hot, so I went there. When I came out of the pool, the neutron star behind me was kind of hungry, so I gave it some doggy snacks and doggy crackers. It kind of didn't like them, but it fell asleep, so it's the jockey's turn to deal with it. I went to the manager and asked for a Coke, but they gave me a Pepsi instead, and I turned it into Diet Coke with my magic Diet Coke powers. What's funny about Diet Coke powers is that they are kinda inherently useless, because why would I want a Diet Coke when I have Fanta and Pepsi? I would like to have some numbers to crunch yesterday, but today is today and tomorrow is the future. And I don't know what happens in the future except for the fact that the cheeses are going to land on the moon one day. And the moon men will not like that. And they're gonna send all their moon man cheeses back at Earth, which are kind of poisonous and are filled with moon rocks. So I won't expect Senator President Donald Trump to be very happy about that. Poor Trump. But when the moon men actually do send our cheeses, I'm just gonna order ketchup from Mars and hope that all passes in a week. You know, I can just take a sick leave from my doctor's appointment. But I don't really like going to the dentist because of the extreme paraphernalia that they use in their operations. I had a dentist once who told me, "Hey, I want to wear a leather jacket to the theater." And the dentist just stood at me and looked at me for a good while and didn't want to take out my teeth. But that's okay, because I didn't actually go there to get my teeth taken out. I went for guitar lessons. But the dentist was still kind of suspicious of my antics, and I went over all the way to Cologne and the Cologne Cathedral, and I looked up, and there was the Crab Man from Disco Elysium just standing there, and, well, not standing there, but hanging there from one of the girders. It's not the greatest place to be in the Canada, because there are lots of Canada Goose up there, and I wouldn't want to be friends with the ducks anyway. So instead, I went over to the power lines and I shot my 50 caliber sniper at the cheese on top of Mount Everest. However, the reason why I don't really like doing that nowadays is because it's kind of far away, one, and two, the spiders don't really like that. So, in order to please the spiders, I went and got a fly with my Venus flytrap, which is unfortunately cheating for them, because they obviously hunt with nets. And if I use a Venus flytrap, that's not really a net, so I'm not really gonna please spiders with it, unfortunately. So my lapse in judgment caused the Great Spider War of the 27th century. Unfortunately, I am not going to be around to see that, because I'm gonna be in the past and not in the future. Because when I invented time travel a while back, I went back to the 21st century to start creating goobers. And when I started creating goobers, I stopped immediately because you can't have goober twice. You can only have goober once, because a goober is an isolated state of being where goober exists in goober land. And if there is another goober in another isolated instance of space, that's okay. But there are two goobers in one isolated instance of space. They cancel each other out. And there's no more goobing to be had or gooped. But it's kind of not according to what I want for my destiny. So I went back to the prehistoric age and gave man a handgun. He gave a micro Uzi, and the caveman, he didn't really know what was going on, so he took it and shot the dinosaurs into oblivion. I actually made a cover up as to why the dinosaurs died. It's not the Uzi that there was, it's actually the meteorite, which actually happened. The meteorite fell down on the dinosaurs, and they got squished by the meteorite dust. And the meteorite was made of adamantine. So, the adamantine that I mined from the adamantine mines, it wasn't really actually adamantine, it's fool's adamantine. And that adamantine is actually palladium. Because when I mined adamantine, or at least the fool's adamantine, I wasn't aware of the intricacies of adamantine mining. So I was just going there and mining adamantine, well, fool's adamantine for short. And I looked at it, and it had grew a face on it. And I asked it, fool's adamantine, are you adamantine or are you palladium? And it replied, tungsten. So I came back home and ate an orange peel, and then I peeled my banana, and I just left it on the kitchen counter because I'm not sure if bananas are real or not. So I just kind of left it there because I didn't want to eat something that's beyond the physical laws of time and space, aka not real. You could say that for anything that's not real, honestly. I wouldn't want to eat a fly or a mosquito because they're not real. Mosquitoes are just FSGs in my mind, which harm me and make me itch. Because mosquitoes are good creatures. They are ill-omened trolls of the ether. And when I go into the internet to look for trolls, and I see all these funny little business cops, I am very, very taken aback and appalled, in fact, as to what they're actually doing, because they're not mosquitoes and they're not sucking my blood. I would like to go to them and ask them to suck my blood, but it's actually probably a pretty bad idea. One, they won't like it because they're not vampires, and two, how am I supposed to find them?